So what is going to happen in case of the treatment? So what the treatment which we can give for this type 2 diabetes? So the goal in treating this type 2 diabetes is mainly to maintain blood glucose concentrations within the normal limits and also to prevent the development of long term complications. See, both together we have to do. So we have to treat the patient with respect to this type 2 diabetes in order to maintain the blood glucose concentration in the normal level, as well as we have to prevent the development of long term complications. That is nothing but long term complications is nothing but like neuropathy, nephropathy, retinopathy, all these things to be maintained. That is involves weight reduction, maybe exercise and medical nutrition therapy, that is dietary modifications often correct the hyperglycemia conditions of the newly diagnosed type 2 diabetes. And hypoglycemic conditions, for example, that is metformin, which decreases the hepatic output of the glucose, as well as this sulfonylureas, thiazolidinediones, which will increase the peripheral insulin sensitivity. In order, that is nothing but alpha glucosidase inhibitors, which are going to be acting as alpha glucosidase inhibitors, which is going to decrease the absorption of the dietary carbohydrate or insulin therapy. So these treatment, these medications which will help you in increasing the peripheral insulin sensitivity, and as well as alpha glucosidase inhibitors, which is going to help you in decreasing the absorption of this dietary carbohydrates, or even insulin therapy can be made to prevent this long term complications without precipitating hypoglycemia condition, without precipitating hyperglycemia into hypoglycemia, right? In case of the patient who is suffering from type 2, may be required in order to achieve satisfactory plasma glucose levels also. One more thing is you have to observe here, bariatric surgery, that is in in morbidly obese individuals with type 2 diabetes. So the individuals who are obese with type 2 diabetes, which has been shown to result in a disease remission, in most of the patients you can make out this remission may not be permanent. So remission of this disease is going to happen, but it will not be permanent in most of the patients if you come across in most of the obese individuals with suffering from type 2 diabetes. So you can see this is the inter tissue relationship in case of type 2 diabetes. So ketogenesis will be minimal, as I said earlier, it is going to be restrained back, and as long as the insulin action is adequate, that is triacyl that is TCA, tricarboxylic acid cycle. Through this cycle, acetyl CoA molecule, right, acetyl coenzyme A and VLDL, that is very low density lipoproteins, which are going to be elevated, right, which are going to be packaged into chylomicrons, further packaged into VLDL, while very density, very low density lipoproteins. So you can make how this relationship which is going to happen in case of type 2 diabetes, as you can observe here in case of the intestine, blood, and as well as which is going to be observed in case of adipocytes. So you can make out here glycogen degradation, which is going to happen, converting it into glucose. So further in the this glucose glycogen degradation, what is going to happen? So glucose 6 phosphate entering into the resulting in the formation of, that is through the TCA cycle. You can make out acetyl CoA molecule formation. Then acetyl CoA is going to be further getting converted into, that is it is involved in the synthesis of ketone bodies, as you see here, and ketogenesis is going to happen. So VLDL, so you can make free fatty acids, triacylglycerols, getting fatty acids getting converted into triacylglycerols, which are packaged further into VLDL, chylomicrons into VLDL, very low density lipoproteins. So all these things you can observe here, right? In case of adipocytes also, acetyl CoA, triacylglycerols, free fatty acids. So you can make out free fatty acids further to triacylglycerols, right? So this triacylglycerols further packaged into chylomicrons, you can make out all these thing, glycerol and fatty acids which are going to be obtained. So you can make out here in this particular how the relationship, interrelationship which is going to happen in case of this intestine and as well as adipocytes, and in case of the blood, how the level of the blood glucose is going to be increased along with the VLDL lipoproteins, free fatty acids and VLDL lipoproteins elevated concentration, how it is related with respect to the type 2 diabetes, which we can make out in this slide. Coming for the chronic effects and how you are going to prevent the diabetes. As we noted previously, the changes, right, available therapies in case of type 1 as well as metabolic changes what we have come across in case of type 2. So the available therapies which are going to moderate the hyperglycemia of diabetes but fail to completely normalize the metabolism. Understanding this concept, so it is going to moderate the hyperglycemia condition, but it is failing to completely normalize the blood glucose level metabolism, right? So the long standing elevation of the blood glucose is mainly associated with the chronic complications of diabetes, including premature atherosclerosis as well as cardiovascular disease and stroke, retinopathy, neuropathy and nephropathy, as well as intensive treatment with this respect to this insulin, which is going to delay the onset and allows the progression of these long term complications. For example, the incidence of this retinopathy, which is going to decrease the blood control of blood glucose and also improves the blood glucose level and HbA1c level, which is going to decrease. So I've already explained you about the HbA1c level, that is nothing but the approximately mean blood glucose level which is going to be diagnosed, that is for 3 months. You have to check for the mean blood glucose, how the patient has maintained for the 3 months blood glucose concentration. So that gives you approximate amount of the glucose in the blood, that is hemoglobin. So that is nothing but HbA1c, so which is going to decrease here. So the benefits of tight control of blood glucose outweigh the increased risk of severe hypoglycemia condition in case of the most patients. So if you are maintaining the blood glucose, if you are controlling the increase, it can even increase the risk of this particular hypoglycemia condition, severe hypoglycemia condition, which is suffering in case of some patients. So, how hyperglycemia causes the chronic complications of diabetes is unclear. So, till now, they don't know that, and this information is very unclear that hyperglycemia, how it causes the chronic complications of diabetes. In cells in which the entry of the glucose is not dependent on the insulin, elevated blood glucose, which leads to the increased intracellular glucose concentration and its metabolites. For example, if you come across increased intracellular sorbitol, which is going to contribute to the formation of cataracts in the diabetic patients. Additionally, hyperglycemia promotes the non-enzymatic condensation of glucose with cellular proteins in a reaction which is analogous to the formation of HbA1c level. So these glycosylated protein undergo additional reactions and further becomes advanced glycation end products that mediate some of the early microvascular changes of diabetes. I have already shown you what are all the microvascular changes which is going to happen, and even it can reduce wound healing. This advanced glycation end products bind to the receptors, which is causing the release of pro-inflammatory molecules. So there is currently no preventable treatment for this type 1 diabetes. But the risk of the type 2 diabetes can be significantly increased by a combined regime of the medical, nutritional therapy, weight loss, exercise, and even aggressive control of this hypertension and dyslipidemia. So dyslipidemia is very, very important to control, and hypertension also for the type 2 diabetes, along with the medical nutritional therapy, weight loss, and even exercise. Obesity is the main cause for this. So you have to maintain all these things, then it will obviously bring down the blood glucose level under control or the normal. For example, if you come across the incidence of the disease is normal and in normal and overweight patients or individuals with varying degrees of the exercise, the benefits effect of intensive therapy on cardiovascular disease has not been shown in case of the individuals with a long standing type 2 diabetes. In contrast, initial intensive control in individuals with newly diagnosed diabetes has a long term benefit in decreasing the risk of myocardial infarction, diabetes related death, and overall death. The clinical evidence which supports us that initiating this intensive therapy with the goal of lowering HbA1c levels to below 7% as early as possible in the course of diabetes. So I have to bring down this HbA1c level in case of the patients 7%, below 7%, that is 6% like that, and it is very possible in the course of diabetes. Then you can control this myocardial infarctions and long-term complications of this diabetes. Relationship of this glycemic control and diabetic retinopathy, you can see here what is the relationship. What just now I explained. So the benefits of this improvement of this glycemic control occurred over the entire range or maintenance of this HbA1c level in case of the patient, so which we can improve the glycemic control in case of the individual. So you can see the graph, what will be the changes if you maintain, that is what kind of changes if you can make out here, 9%, 10%, right? So these are all the changes which we can come across with respect to this. If you maintain this glycemic, if you maintain the normal level of the glucose in the blood, so we can avoid this retinopathy and nephropathy and neuropathy and all. So this is the relationship which you can come across in case of the glycemic control and retinopathy. So there will be no what is that? If you maintain the HbA1c level in a normal less than 7%, so we can maintain this, we can avoid the long term complication which is going to happen in case of type 2 diabetes. So this completes the overall type 1 and type 2 diabetes and metabolic changes, clinical changes associated with this type 1 and type 2. So in the next class we will see other aspects which is left out, that is entry of other carbohydrates into the glycolysis, which we have discussed, which we have left out with respect to that other disorders. That's all. So that will be the end of the syllabus in another 2 class. Thank you.